Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. This is the first of two videos looking at tube overdrive pedals, and more specifically what swapping the tube inside it does for the sound of the pedal. Now today we're going to take a look at this, the iconic BK Butler Tube Driver. Now stock from BK Butler, this has a new 12AX7 tube inside it, but what I'm going to do today is swap that out for a new old stock Mullard 12AV7 dating from around 1970. Now the AV7 has about 60% less gain than the 12AX7, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot a before and after, put them side by side so you can hear the differences, and at the end we can have a little chat about why things are the way they are. So without further ado, here we go! So there we go guys, very interesting. As you heard, swapping to the AV7, despite the fact that it only has 40% of the gain of the AX7, doesn't have a huge impact on the sound of this pedal. Yes, we get slightly more output and there's a slightly different tone overall, but there's no major impact. So why is this? Well, the name of this pedal is actually slightly misleading. Yes, it's an overdrive, and yes, it has a tube in it, but it's not actually the tube that's doing the driving. It has an op-amp in much the same way as a tube screamer does. So what happens is the guitar signal goes in, it's clipped by the op-amp, and then the signal is passed through the tube to give a bit of warmth and character before it goes off to the amp. So what we see is at lower gain levels, we have many more transients in our signal because it's being compressed less by the op-amp, and therefore the gain of the tube will affect how much compression is happening in the tube. When we drive the pedal really hard, the op-amp squashes the signal and there's not many transients at all, and therefore it's not really being compressed by the tube. So at much lower gains we notice a difference in the tube, at higher gains we don't. So that's the reason why swapping out the tube on these BK Butler Tube Drivers doesn't have a huge effect. It's because the signal is being clipped by the op-amp and the tube is just being used in a very similar way to a mic preamp in the studio. The signal's just passed through it to warm it up and add a bit of character. So I hope that clears up a few myths about the BK Butler Tube Driver. In part 2 of this video, we are going to look at this, the Effectrode TD2A Tube Drive. Now this is very different. There's no op-amp in this pedal, it's completely tube driven, and it has 3 tubes cascading gain stages into each other to create the overdrive. So swapping out the V1 position for a different tube should have a greater effect on the tone. So thank you ever so much for watching guys, I hope that was useful. Please do subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already, and I will see you in part 2.